Hey, my name's Noah, and it is now the end of October in 2025. And in mid-September, I decided to pursue a dream that my wife and I have had for a few years now, which is to start a literary home fragrance brand. And we're starting with candles. So I wanted to get on here and maybe share some of the knowledge that I've gained over the last 45 days, which is a lot, about this industry that I really knew nothing about before I started this. I have left the corporate world. I want to have some freedom in my schedule, and freedom may not look like reduced hours, but it will look like the hours that I want to work. And so here we are. We're going to see how this goes. So let's maybe start from the beginning. Back in 2020, maybe 2021, my wife and I were on the same path as a lot of people. We were making sourdough bread during the pandemic, and then we started to make handmade soap, and we were really enjoying that and coming up with the different fragrances. And then we realized as we were thinking about turning this into a business that we didn't actually use hand soap ourselves, like bar soap, I mean. We use soap. But bar soap we didn't use. And so we decided to let that go and to do something that we actually enjoyed. And so we started to think about making candles instead because you still have the joy of making something by hand, you're still playing with the fragrances, but you are not making a product that you don't actually use. At that same time, there were a lot of book bans that were happening in the US, and I was reminded of my favorite book from high school, which was Fahrenheit 451. And this idea of encouraging people to sit down with a book to read or to write by creating a scene for them, by setting a scene is something that we were feeling very strongly about. And so we started to ideate on this, and honestly, it's been 4 years of fairly regularly revisiting it and coming up with a business plan and jotting down notes while we were working our full-time corporate jobs. And now it's coming to fruition, and I couldn't be more excited. So I'm now at the point where we have made some candles, finally. When I was telling friends and family that I was planning on doing this, the feedback, understandably, that I got was, don't you think you should make some candles first before deciding to pursue a candle business? And that's fair. And I think that some people may enjoy pursuing things in that way. But I also just really enjoy the process of creation. And so I knew that I would enjoy this. I really wasn't concerned about that. And when I say the process of creation, I also mean the process of creating a business. So all of it, the website setup, the content, the creative, the marketing piece of it, I enjoy it all. So just the starting of a business was fun for me, but then to also be able to do something that is so hands-on, I couldn't really wait for. So I don't know that that would necessarily be my recommendation, is to go into this business without ever having made a candle, but that's what I did. Whatever works. I also spent quite a bit of time on candle forums. And actually, I didn't do that initially. Initially, I did all my own research, and then now as I'm getting to the testing phase and trying to answer some questions that I have about where we are and whether or not we're market ready, I've started to jump into some forums, and what I see there is fairly discouraging. In these forums, there were some newcomers who were asking questions about profitability or how to be successful with candle making. And it was pretty discouraging to see that there were quite a few people who said, I made candles for 1 to 2 years before I ever thought about selling it to someone. Thankfully, there were other people in the comments who said, listen, you can probably do this in a couple of months if you're moving very quickly, you're doing rigorous testing to make sure that your candles are safe, you feel confident about your scents, and then just go for it. And I'm definitely in the latter camp. I don't want to sell a subpar product, so I think the testing is incredibly important. But if you are pursuing this full time, or even if you're pursuing this part time and you're able to dedicate a lot of hours to this, I think you can get up and running way faster than you think you can. But in my experience so far, the cost is quite high. And there may be some ways to cut down on the cost that as I go through my finances with y'all, I'll maybe find some places where I could have done things a little bit differently. But in order to pursue this, at least to get started, I think you're probably going to have to invest anywhere between $3,000 and $6,000 to really get going. And that includes the cost needed to set up the website, to get your business license, to buy equipment that you need, including your wax melter and your jars and the wax and the fragrance oils. And all of this costs a lot of money. And at this point, I think I've spent around $3,500 so far. And before I ever sell a candle, I think that would be probably closer to 4,000 or 4,500. And I'm now at the point where we feel very confident in the fragrances that we have, and we're going to start actually producing them now. I have one more step to go. I want to make sure that I'm using the right wax. So that there's one other wax that I want to try out. And depending on which wax I end up going with, I may have to change my labels. So I'm either going with a soy or a soy coconut wax. And you have to indicate on the label what kind of wax you're using. So I'm right there at the end. Just want to make sure that I'm using the right wax. And then I can print the labels, and then we can really hit the ground running. The amount that I've learned over the last 45 days could be probably condensed into several different videos. So thanks for being on this journey with me. I'll go into another video where I talk more about the business setup side of things and how I decided to approach that and kind of how long that took and costs involved and that sort of stuff. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one.